Hi everyone, this is Kelly and this is our second project for the month of August, and we are going to make this beautiful card. We're using the paper from the Splendid Day suite, and the paper itself is called, let me just double check, it is called Splendid Day, so that makes it easier. Splendid Day paper from the Splendid Day suite. And we're also going to be using the stamp set called Splendid Thoughts. We'll be using Sending Hugs and the eucalyptus over here. So let's get started. Let's look at the card that we're going to make. It is this beautiful card. It's going to open up in a portrait manner. If you can see this, hopefully you can see that there's a little ladybug there. There's also a little ladybug on the front. Some may have one ladybug, some may have two. There may be none on the inside, but one on the outside. So let's get started. It's a very simple card that we're going to do. In your envelope, you're going to have, number one, your envelope. You're going to have an inside card. You're going to have your card base, which is 8 and 11, or 8.5. Let's start that again. It's going to be 11.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. I kept thinking of the 5.5, so there you go. I fumbled over my own words. We're going to have a piece of designer paper for the front that goes here. This other designer paper is going to go on our insert. We have something for our sentiment. We have a bow, and I did add the sequence from the candy cane suite that is in the beginning of the mini catalog. I'm going to be using these iridescent white ones. They come with green, red, gold, and the iridescent silver. So we're going to be using that. So let's get started making our card. It's a pretty simple card. It's pretty much assembly except a couple of little stamps. We will start with stamping. And so what we're going to stamp is our inside of our card. We're not going to stamp the inside of our card. We're going to put designer series paper on there. So never mind with that. We're going to do our sentiment and we're going to do our envelope. So let's start with our sentiment. I'm going to be using Sending Hugs, and we're going to stamp that in Pool Party. Sending Hugs. There we go, in Pool Party. And then for the envelope, we're going to stamp the eucalyptus sprig, and I'm going to stamp it again on the back. I just like to have something on my envelope too. So the envelope can be set aside at this point. We will close up our ink before I'm wearing it, and then we will assemble our card. So this is actually a 5.5 piece, but we're just going to glue this down and trim off the part we do not need. I'm going to use my seal to do this. So I just go down if it wants to work. There. Now it's working. I just go down. I'm going to start back up at the top because it didn't start right away for me. And I'm going to adhere this to this on the right or the left side of the paper. There we go. And then I'm just going to trim off this 1/4 inch. I always trim from the back so I can see what I'm cutting off so it's even with my paper. And I'm going to adhere this into the inside of the card. As you can see, I do my little Z. That usually is enough to adhere everything down. There we go. So our inside is done. And this particular piece has a little ladybug here. Now I can turn it this way so the ladybug's on the top, and I think I'm going to do that because I want to put my sentiment here. But the ladybug could be at the bottom and you can put your sentiment on top, but we're going to do it this way. So let me adhere that down. Again, I like my little Z thing. I'm going to do it approximately a 1/2 inch away from the side and try to do that straight. It should fit the piece just perfectly, and that it does. So that's pretty good. Now we're going to put on our sentiment. I'm going to use some dimensionals here. I like to use a lot of dimensionals, so I probably use more than you would. Some people would only use 2 here, some maybe 3, but I am doing 4. Okay, now you can either pick these off with your fingernails and pitch them in the trash, or you can take your pick tool, poke them and lift, and they kind of stick on the tool. Poke and lift, and then they're all clumped together, and you can just push them off the end into the trash. So this is going to go right here. And I have this wonderful bow that we're going to put right on top of here. So we're going to use a glue dot for that. And I'm using my mini glue dots. I use my take your pick tool, the pointy end, and I kind of fold the piece in half. And I figure out where I want this. I'm going to set my take your pick tool there. I'm going to put my bow on top of that and press down. And as you can see, my bow is bigger. It's much bigger than, or the ends are much longer than they need to be. So I'm just going to snip them. There we go. These are scrap. They can go in the pitchables. And then, as I said, I used these sequins. So I'm going to put 3 sequins on here. I'm going to put a big one in this area up here just to give it a little more oomph. I think I'll put one on here, maybe more right in that area. And then I'm going to put one in this leaf. So you kind of have 3 of them on there, but it also helps you see that ladybug. And there you have it. This is project number 2, or the second, or the first card, or the second project of our August card night. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day.